In 1969, a man named Juan Moricz walked into a government office in Ecuador and made a claim that sounded impossible. He said he had discovered a vast underground system with straight walls, carved chambers, and rows of metal books. He called it a library, but not one built by any known culture. So the place he described was Los Tiles Caves, buried deep in the Andes, hidden beneath the Amazonian jungle, a place long considered sacred by the Shar people. Now, Moricz wasn't just making wild claims in the bar. He followed this discovery through official Ecuadorian channels, a notarized document outlining what he said he saw. Stone passageways with geometric walls, chambers carved with such precision she believed they couldn't be natural, and at the center, a room filled with metal books, stacked like a forgotten archive. She said it's proof of a lost civilization, one that left behind not just stories, but knowledge. But here's the part that turns this entire claim into just a legend and not fact. Moricz never released photos. He refused to share the location, and every time someone pressed him for proof, he pointed to one man in Cuenca, a priest named Father Crespi, and said, he already has the evidence. According to Moricz, Father Crespi's metallic plates, the ones covered in unknown symbols, match what he has seen inside the cave. No one ever proved the connection, but once that link was made, the two stories became one. From that point on, the mystery of Tiles Cave and the mystery of the metallic library couldn't be separated. In 1976, the mystery exploded. A massive joint expedition was launched, backed by the Ecuadorian government, British institutions, and private sponsors. It was led by a Scottish engineer named Stan Hall, and its honorary president, Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. The expedition showed promise, entering the Tiles Cave system in July 1976 and continuing through August of that year. Over 100 people took part: scientists, military personnel, spelunkers, and indigenous shore guides. The goal was to find a cave Moricz had described and confirm whether the metallic library was real. They mapped over 3 miles of tunnels. They studied rare cave-dwelling birds, collected pottery shards, and also logged geological data. But the main mission had failed. There were no metal books, no golden artifacts, and no grand archive. Officially, the expedition found nothing extraordinary. But behind the scenes, things didn't quite add up. Some areas were off limits. Logs showed missing entries, and several members of the team later reported being kept from parts of the cave they were told they'd be able to access. No explanation was ever given. No follow-up expedition of that scale was ever launched again. And Armstrong, who had just walked on the surface of another world, never spoke publicly about what he saw in Los Tiles. His only notable quote after the expedition was this: "Tiles is up there with the moon," which could suggest that what he saw down there, or what he was told, left just as deep an impression as standing on the lunar surface. It wasn't confirmation, but it wasn't dismissal either. So what was really down there? Los Tiles is still there, still buried beneath the jungle, still guarded by silence. Official reports say the 1976 expedition found nothing unusual, just limestone tunnels and native wildlife. But behind the scenes, the story never really closed. If Moricz was telling the truth, then the metallic plates the Father Crespi kept in his church may have been all that remains of a lost underground archive, and the artifacts that he once kept in the quiet church room that slowly disappeared without a trace may be the only evidence of it left. A few surviving pieces remain, but there's no catalog and no official origin. Today, you can still visit the cave, with permits, local guides, and approval from the Shar community. But the deeper halls described by Moricz, the ones with mail books and ancient chambers, they've never been documented. Some say they were never there. Others believe they were found and hidden away. The truth, if it ever surfaced, was buried just as fast. So do you think the Lost Tiles cave artifacts really exist? Let me know your thoughts in the comments,